this way. It's like two kind of greedy cores that both want the jungle and to farm those stacks.
Yeah,
not impossible,
really
but just
greedy.
Just feels like not the way you want to play. And I feel like Medusa against the Io Gyro, you just don't have the damage. Like you're in a split shot, and Io's just sitting behind the Gyro, healing up any damage you do.
Okay.
Puck.
This is so
Right.
they do have a mid puck game in
I
this
want to see
tournament
Dragonite right now.
Yeah, DK.
Historically,
great.
DK crushes puck.
You need, and that's the thing, I can lock down against this puck because Centaur stun is not a way to ever really catch puck. You can just phase shift the cast time.
Gives you that push, that way to punish puck if he tries to rotate, which is something Setsu likes to do on this hero.
Ember's still fine as well, I feel. It's a hero that takes advantage of that RNG not having lockdown. It gives you a route for the puck. It's not the worst.
I'm pretty sure that the Ember was the reason they picked the puck matchup before, that they really like that. I don't know. It is weird.
Puck can do fine against Ember.
I love that call by Lacoste. I think that's by far the best hero available.
Yeah, they just needed someone who has naturally high armor, who can survive through all this. Once he gets a BKB, he does not die to Sven that easily. He can stand his ground even if...
Wisp Gyro
How hard
with a
is this
DK
to screw up?
and 2 more stuns, all right? You get to a certain point, and the RNG lineup will most likely crumble. I think that the Setsu Puck is the player to watch here because it is a tough game for you, and Puck is similar to heroes like Quap, where you can dominate and take over a game, but you got to snowball. You die once or twice, your whole game is ruined.
Yeah.
You won't be able to stay that item ahead.
That's what we're wondering, like if it's going to be an Ember instead of the Puck. Like if you could actually have this nice range control that Alliance couldn't lock you down with. It's the downside when you run an IO as well as an SD, where it's not actually a stun. Like you can banish somebody, but then his cooldown's coming off the ability's coming off cooldown, and IO is just like, well, I'm a presence, but they've got Dragon Tail now from DK. This gives them something to initiate with, as well as the Centaur. Both heroes very tanky, and IO can work with all 3 of these cores too.
Oh yeah, it's a great Wisp game in general. I like whenever you have a double save mechanic as well. I think the SD is excellent here. Bit concerned. I thought Flyby's Mars was on point last game. It felt like him and Lanham were the only 2 players truly performing at their best. And I'm not surprised. If you talk to any players with a lot of TI experience, they'll all say something similar, which is that pretty much every time you get to the International, there's 2 or 3 teams playing maybe a little better than usual, and everyone else is worse. And it's similar when you have these clutch games where there's so much on the line. You could feel it in that last game that there were huge implications on the match because both teams just making some weird missteps that are not something we see often.
It's the pressure. Like, it's the biggest event that happens once every year, and while we're not there right now, that's what these teams are fighting for. That's the pressure that's on them to really step up and perform. And if you want a team that's had such a hard run to get there, Alliance definitely comes up. Be it injuries, they stuck together. These are now the new power of Swedish friendship. Like, they're just trying to make sure that they can make this work, and they don't want to give up on it. And that's a big thing for him. But at the same time, RNG, like, China is one of the hardest regions to play in, and Lanham has managed to bring this team together. And Setsu, I gotta say, man, like this guy, like I really want to see what he can do on his puck to see if he can really shine at this mid role against Koifa, who's also been stepping up lately.
Yeah, it's definitely a DK favorite matchup. Puck can win it if you get a double wave going, but much more difficult the new way mid is played, and Koifa should pull ahead as this drags on. It'll be interesting to see how Afu wants to play the Chen. He's up top right now with his Sven. But I like what Alliance have done here. They put the Wisp Gyro in the off lane. It's actually, I think, a better spot for these 2 heroes because you can play. You're all about mobility and move speed, and you can play around the side trees rather. It's very difficult to be taken out, especially by a passive lane like Warlock Mars.
Yeah, it seems also like any kind of harassment they try and do through the binding, like through the fatal bonds, like it doesn't matter when you got Naya sitting behind you. So a lot of their harassment power is just negated.
And you want to play away from the Chen with your carry as well. And Centaur top, sure, you could try to dive him if you're Afu, but it's just not really something that works with much of a success rate.
Yeah. So Chen needs to have he still does need to have an influence. He can't just sit in the lane and farm. So either you're dragging this lane equilibrium back, or there is a successful rotation. Maybe there is the movement to bottom lane to catch out the Iron.
A lot of it is on the puck. There isn't a natural playmaker on the side of RNG except for this puck. The supports, sure, a Chen could move around, but I think what's more likely here, and this is something to keep in mind, this new Chen with the old coddle port in, he can drag his puck, his Mars, and set up ganks in this top lane very easily.
This is actually such BS. The Harpy is zoning Boxy out of the lane. He's trying to heal up in this very small slither. You won't really risk much with the Harpy, and he ends up canceling the last part of it.
dead.
But Arfu, yeah, that's too many poison stacks from Insania. The 6th one will be able to connect, but no, Arfu will live. And dodges the next attack. Now Insania, he's going to consume mangoes. He knows he needs a little bit more in the tank for it. And Arfu, is he trying to bring in a little bit of extra? Okay. Has he got some help with the stick charges? Yeah, he does. He was bringing Monet into the fight.
And gives him the first blood.
I thought for a moment to say, like, wait, is he actually dragging someone? You bet he is. And that's going to be the first blood going the way of RNG.
That's really fun. That was a nice play. Afu is one of the better Dota players in the world. Also, one of the only members of a Chinese team I've ever convinced to come to karaoke.
Really?
Yeah.
I would ask, what did he sing that wasn't Chinese?
It was a long night. Don't really remember. All I remember was a lot of enthusiasm. All right, that's what's important if you're singing, guys. You don't have to sing well, just do it loud.
It's the rule of karaoke. You always have to applaud and work with them. Like you can never insult. Mickey and Tiger trying to get aggressive against Lanham, but that's why Flyby is there. Man, Arfu has just been having a... Like, if it wasn't for that kill, like Insania, you'd feel like he's having the better time here. Like, Arfu's going to hide inside of Roshan. He's got...
Surprised that Setsu's doing so well in the mid lane. This is key for RNG, because as we've said, you know, they can turn coil into kills quite easily. Man, this Warlock fatal spam, so annoying to deal with. It's the reason this hero is viable again. Now it's just a scaling % bonus.
Yeah, but Tiger's still looking to fire it. Like, he's building up stick charges as much as he possibly can. Because they've got the efficiency heal. You got efficiency damage and then you got efficiency heal. So now, with the Rocket Barrage, he wants to go on Lanham, but that's why Flyby moves a little bit closer over. He's looking for a good hit, but where is that target? The spear is available, but he needs a tree to work it onto. And now, well, Tiger, he's right there, McKay. Complete miss. As she splits them up, and actually Tiger, one more hit from Lanham will do it, but that's why he's salving up already. The Fatal Bonds connect him actually, so he won't get through the heal.
It'll be... Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to get the Sven like really accelerating into this game. That's my one concern with the RNG draft. I feel like it'll end up just being them playing around this top side of the map, but at a certain point, they're going to rotate the gyrocopter in with the teleport, and if they can time that for when RNG look to make their move, they'd love to have call down available, because do keep in mind, if Setsu rotates, there's going to be a DK middle. Now hitting level 6, Koif will be able to take out that mid objective quite easily if he's left to his own devices.
Yeah. But that's why RNG need to have Mars actually step up as well with his rotation, look to work with the Warlock. Monet's in a little bit of trouble, but and Arfu with this damn Harpy and Perch Creep, he's making Boxy's life very miserable. Boxy's still getting some good CS, but if you look at the two top CSs, it's bouncing between them with the net worths, but it's Puck as well as Ven, and DK's nibbling. In fact, now he's moved into second position.
Yeah. It's still a great game from Setsu. This is really not a favorable matchup for you middle. Bottom, you can see the Sven is rotating straight for the Wisp.
Yep, lines him up so they can pin him up against the tree, but do they have enough damage to actually get the kill on Tiger? A quick tether up, that looks like it's almost enough. He's taking damage from the creep wave. 14 HP, 5 HP, the creep wave's gonna stop getting hit. Oh boy, Fatal Bonds is a real thing.
I think Lanham had put the Shadow Word on him. I wasn't sure. It could have just been the Fatal Bonds, as you said. I didn't notice what the animation was before camera switched. Let's see. Yeah, this is to be expected, though. You move the Sven out of top. I like this, because it's either you try and play up there, but for reasons we've discussed, like you don't want to necessarily commit super hard and just let Koifa hit your tier 1, especially because you'd be making plays into the Sven. Instead, make a rotation, find the kill, and now Sven just sits bottom, you move the Mars up to top. It makes a lot of sense. And Alliance have no choice but to move their cores out of the bottom lane as well and put the Centaur down bottom. Boxy with the ultimate. I'd love to see him use it a bit earlier than he did in the previous game.
If he can set up the rest of his team to fight, maybe they can do so. SD's ready to rear. He's CP down to bottom lane, while Afu's gone
he's
into the
taking the
dire
stacks.
jungle, and yeah, he looked for the stacks that's meant to be Gyrocopter as well as Io's experience and farm. They're actually pinging already. It's like, hey guys, like maybe we should think about this.
This is really cool from Afu. I love this play. It's just a little bit of economy damage, similar to like you ever watch StarCraft. He's like killing some probes, and it also ensures he gets a nice creep before he comes to look for kills bottom with his very farmed Sven down here.
Now we move out of the mineral line to the disruption. Hoof stomp. Fetterbonds connect him up, and now Monet still wants to try and fight, beating into Centaur, but
Afu's coming.
man, Monet's got so much life, but yeah, with the help of Chen coming in through the rear box, they just want to keep chipping away. They can focus towards Insania. Oh, missing on the Centaur Stomp, however. That's not exactly what they wanted. Insania, they have to purge him up to slow him down. And Monet needs to get in range to get another stun, and he has it. Speed yourself into the trees, and Insania, defensive disruption will let him survive a little bit longer here.
One more
And
hit.
Monet just cleans straight through these illusions. They do not survive. And thanks to those phase boots, that's why he was able to close the distance. So 3-0. RNG looking pretty decent so far, at least on the kill board.
And they've done a great job of nullifying Koifa's Dragon Forms. There's always a core in middle. You can see Setsu had to regen, so Flyby ensures that he's here to camp this tower. They don't want it to go down too early because it makes it very easy for Koifa to then just start rotating around the map, killing even more objectives. This mid tower is the most important in Dota 2. And you can see Alliance, they felt like the Chen would be playing top. You look, they have 3 wards all centered around this area, but Afu has just moved off because his goal is not to try and deny the Gyrocopter farm as much as it is to ensure Monet has this free game to get the phase into Midas. And when he's laning against a Centaur with an extra level, it's necessary that he plays this area. But instead, he'll actually go middle. They have Coil up. Maybe they try and kill Koifa here. It's a tough ask, though. I don't know if this is the target you want to go for.
If they can
you're
get
RNG.
around to the back, it makes sense. But Centaur as well as a Wild Wing, that's...
It's not enough.
Yeah, you kind of need like a
And look at
Troll
the build.
Trapper. You need something else. Yeah, 4 points in Dragon Blood to get through.
1,500
Yeah,
HP and 11 sticks. Like, you can even see Afu's like, yeah, you know, maybe we'll do this later. And he goes back to the jungle.
How later can you make this? Like you're already iffy about going into the DK. Where is your damage going to come from? Unless Sven is the big power hitter and triggering God Strength.
I really like to see teams do that as well. You know, it's common for a lot of newer support players that, you know, you want to make a play, so you force it even if it's a bad move. Whereas you see these top tiers, they recognize that this won't work. So even if you waste a bit of time, it's definitely better than forcing something because you're like, well, I'm here, I might as well try. But
And that's
it
when you
often
get
doesn't
more out
work
of your supports, right? Because like the Eye, because he didn't have that big stack that you got to take with the Gyrocopter, they moved towards the top lane, battle for the 10-minute bounty rune. Mickey, let the call down go. Can he actually? Oh, the skewer. It didn't actually push Mickey back, so they do get the kill on the flyby. While on bottom lane, Stampede out,
Wow,
waited
right as the
just
coil
long
broke.
enough on the edge of the coil to then grab the Invis rune.
That's sick. That's what, like frame perfect almost.
Yep.
That was.
He was running around in circles that entire time and then waited for the Stampede, understanding his escape.
And look at this, though. Because the cores have moved, because they're trying to make plays around the map, Koifa takes mid tower. It's just, anytime you leave the DK alone, he's going to be able to pressure your map. And it's one of the reasons I like this last pick for Alliance, just because it's, again, it just simplifies their game. They can just focus on playing good Dota. The draft kind of plays itself. Mickey is your one. Get him fat on Gyrocopter. Boxy, Insania, Koifa. Just run around the map. Look for some kills. Hit towers when you can. A lot more emphasis, I think, on RNG to be more creative in the way that they find kills and movement around the map. Up top, though, Mars.
Yep. There's your ultimate coming up. Koifa going to be locked in with the rock drop as well.
So
the fatal
tanky,
bomb
though.
for Mickey. He's just able to help out too, so Koifa can walk it off. He burned this one charges, so he'll end up surviving. And RNG, first time they drop the rock as well as the Arena of Blood, and they don't find a kill for it.
They didn't even get him to below half health. Like, he's not even threatened. He said walking it off. He's still jogging. He's going to go all the way back to the shrine, heal up to full, no problem. Maelstrom Rush on Mickey. I do like this after the double Wraith Band. It's the most efficient farming tool you can pick up.
And you'll need that to keep up with Sven. Sven finished up a hand of Midas at 11 minutes. So a little bit more of a free lane from him. But speaking of free lanes, like you can try and take this top. The bottom is still being pressured because RNG's brought everyone towards the northern lane. So Boxy just attacks on the bottom. He is so hard, 106 plus 18. He's actually winning the tower trade-off. Mickey comes a little bit too close. He doesn't have any kind of mana because he wasn't part of it, but then the reload
nice
can't
reload.
save out. away from the Centaurs. TP support will now come in. Koi from the front lines. He knows the tanky frontliner. Looking towards Afu. Mickey now with a call down. A little bit too deep in for Setsu. He'll have to phase shift to dodge a lot of this damage. Combining it up with the silence. He's got his ability to jump away from the balls, but Insania still kills him with the poison.
That was super well played by Koifa and Insania because the Dragon Tail stun is not enough disable to prevent Setsu from actually orbing away. So there's a disruption on top of it. A bit of an overlap, but it doesn't matter because it ensures Puck stays centered. And that is the key kill. Look at his net worth. All of a sudden, from number 1 to number 3, felt like just 2 minutes ago, he was in a dominating position. Of course, you got to worry about the Monet Sven, who was not there, but that's a big win for Alliance. They also defend their objective. Great reload.
The Centaur was also not there, so he finished the tier 1 tower. He took all that farm down on bottom lane, and he's building into the big tankier items as well.
Yep.
Like, that's where they got the extra jump of money. Yeah, you take the fight, but Alliance also gets tower gold.
And you got a little bit of an edge on the supports of RNG, but their Mars is falling behind. Whereas, as you said, Boxy, 1700 HP and a hood. If he picks up a pipe at an early point in this game, you remove all of Puck's damage. That first round of spells just completely negated by the pipe active. Koifa with the DD, no dragon form, but still going to look to get aggressive here into the enemy jungle because he's just unkillable right now. And you know RNG is playing around your top side of the map because of that nice ward on the top shrine.
I think they're trying to get Setsu to engage. Oh, he actually charged himself in to the middle of Io and Gyrocopter. The cooldown will come as quick as they can. You can phase shift quickly, but there's no stuns from this. No TP support coming to the tier 2 tower. The orb is going to join himself a little bit further down, but Stampede, he had just enough of a slow that Setsu couldn't move away quickly. The homing missile is on him, so phase shift all you want. He's got another orb in 1 second, but it won't work. The top tower is still taken by RNG, but Setsu drops once again. Monet not involved in that push. They're still being efficient on Sven, as well as taking the tier 1 tower on top. So objectives are coming for RNG, but Alliance, they are really just having a tussle with this puck.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the Chen versus Wisp matchup is focused. It's Chen favored because you can usually take towers earlier and then outfight the Wisp. You can't really relocate in, team fight you because of the creep and heal advantage, but because they have so much AoE, you've got the call down, the center, like the team fight of Alliance is nuts. If you can play around the Golem and the Fatal Bonds, the damage of RNG is either not enough or easy to kite. Yeah, sure, Monet is going to be huge here, but it's not difficult to just purge him as he tries to run in forwards with the Warcry up. It'll get removed as well, or just disrupt the target that he goes for, look for a relocate out, or just some sustain from the Wisp. RNG, they've got to get onto the supports if they want to find kills on Alliance in a full 5-on-5 engagement.
They're having another crack. The homing missile over on Setsu, the balls. That earlier harassment, and a quick phase shift and jump away to safety.
Rune's up in 15, though. Box is taking some damage.
They are really trying to be as aggressive as they can. Insania is just spamming out as much Shadow Poison as possible. Yep, a little bit too close for Koifa. Remember, it's the 2 tankiest heroes that Alliance has to offer. Centaur's looking at his brethren, Koifa, into the dragon form, and maybe they think about backing up. Already the first time, Monet grabs the bounty rune. The bottoms will go to Alliance, but it's all about the Hofstomp follow-up into the control for Flyby. He's actually got the wall up and running. They're keeping him on the edge, maybe with the call down. Mickey, he's been relocated in, but the rock will drop from Blanham, creates enough space for RNG to now turn around with a double stun on Io as well as Gyrocopter. Here comes your puck as well with the silence. They can't move away, but RNG, they don't need to go anywhere. Apart from death, Alliance hold their ground and keep the damage rolling through. They'll all snap the Dream Coil, but Alliance claiming this event, claiming the 2 supports.
Oh, it's Ania. Careful.
That's the Chen army right there. That's not neutrals. They're not friendly at all. But Boxy will farm him up and kill him.
And there's the benefit of the Wisp, right? Because you have Io Gyro playing bottom. They get both bounty runes as the rest of the team looks to force an engagement on that top rune. And much like last game, it's Boxy just being the beef in the front lines. You try to kill him, you throw the whole initial barrage of spells, but because there's no puck, you do not have the damage to kill him off. Even with great micro from Afu, he was trying to live as Koifa chased him down while microing Centaurs to prevent the defensive disruption, but it's still just not enough. He's too tanky with that hood, the phase, and near 2,000 HP.
Man, it's kind of crazy with RNG already having that same kind of problem they had before. It's like, okay, so who do we initiate on? Like, going on the Centaur is so difficult. Going on the DK is even harder just because of the great start. And we're doing this before we even see major items starting to arrive on the DK. Just braces, treads, going into Blink Dagger now for Koifa. He knows what he's capable of tanking. He has 8+17 armor, 1900 practically in the HP, and he's regenerating at 24 a second.
I really enjoy that because Boxy, of course, is itemizing for tankability. He went for the hood first. So you cover your lack of initiation because DK is just so strong. He's not a real target for RNG. So you buy a Blink, he immediately can get onto Afu. If Setsu were there, he'd probably look to target him as well. And you need that ability to jump the Chen or the Warlock the puck. You don't want to be in a position where a BKB Monet can just run forwards and you have no method of getting past him to attack the targets that are truly valuable. And Lanham, of course, finishing up a Midas. One of the greediest 4 positions in Dota 2, especially in China. But we've seen him in previous games roll up with, I think this one game he had like an Ags refresher and it was like 28 minutes into the game or something crazy like that. And it's pretty fearsome when you have both double Fatal and Golem available. Setsu now able to match the initiation potential of Alliance. He'll pick up a blink. Boxy as well will finish his in just 60 gold.
But you also got the mech completed over on the IO, so the regeneration to keep these cores alive is getting even stronger for Alliance. And I thought maybe he would have been delayed a little bit just because they lost that stack. Like right now, Chen is doing it again. He's behind the Lions box. He's like, okay, guys, like they're messing. They're messing with our camps again.
The Delta split.
This is just like,
Save the creep.
I'll take the Centaur. He's only a cheap imitation anyway.
I'm thinking Boxy's going to be going for the Solar Crest. I imagine that's what that casual chainmail is for, and I love that item decision if that is truly what he goes for. Because if you just make sure your Gyro DK gets buffed up, it's both the damage amp and the survivability. It's so cool to have, especially when you're playing this single core lineup. Well, not single core, but, you know, the Gyro's supposed to come a hyper carry. Nice blink from Koifa.
Oh, Setsu still actually let the Dream Core go down. Koifa will turn around. It's like, yeah, you don't get this camp for free.
Yep.
I earned it with the blink.
But even if you go in there, right, let's say you find that initiation, he's still a 2k HP Dragon Knight with a full wand. Yeah. There's a relocate ready, and Boxy would have Stampede and Teleport prepared as well. They had full vision of that movement thanks to the lane ward, and he still was not afraid. This could be a timing for RNG. Vlad's and Blink active. Roshan has got to be something you're thinking about, but with no BKB on Monet, they might need to just chill a bit on the gas.
Yeah, just a little bit more time, Koifa. Well, Flyby was there, and Koifa still looking to go in. He has his own Blink Dagger ready, but he needs his target. Skewer him back into the trees with a spear. So Sven needs a little bit longer. He's 600 gold towards the BKB. But with the bottom jungle being pretty unattended by Alliance, he's got all the free space to do this. So yeah, they're waiting. They need to wait.
Yeah, but he will be able to be summoned top. That's why this team is playing so aggressive, even without their 2 cores, because they do have that Chen. You have no problem summoning in your allies if necessary. You are hitting a bit of a damage spike here, but it's all Monet, really. You know, the Puck and Mars supply burst control and damage, but if you want to actually have sustained DPS in the fight, it's all in the back of the Sven.
I like how Tiger actually grabbed the double damager, and they're going to jump in with a blink stun right on top with the Hog Stomp, catching the entire Chen army and Chen himself. He goes down with his menagerie. As RNG want to try and have a shrine battle if Alliance wish to do this.
Moxie,
moving
runes
uphill.
Up in a second.
Careful, not up into it, but he just gets the runes. Alliance will be able to claim all of them. IO has relocate available. And the BKB also arrived for Gyrocopter. They were ready to come if they needed to, but they didn't need to.
It's just such good play this time from Alliance. They have those great wards placed by Insania, so they have full information about what RNG are trying to do here. And then they plant Wisp Gyro bottom, even naked, no information, vision on the map in this area. It doesn't matter because they know RNG is looking to play top around this Roche pit.
Yeah.
And they just find an easy initiation. Boxy, no fear, just standing. He knows that the entire team is on that hill, but just doesn't mind. He's got a hood, he's got a Shadow Demon behind him, and now you have the smoke move. You've got to go for the Wisp Gyro, and RNG recognize this. They cannot continue to play away from Mickey.
I don't think they could really do this, though. Like,
Is that a BKB?
Yeah, he's got BKB available, and DK's got the same BKB too. They'll relocate all the way back home. Maybe this is worth a TP over. But no, look how scared RNG are. Boxy is doing the scouting. He's just walking in. There's no vision here. He'll jump forward. They're going to put up the blood, and maybe Mickey BKB with a cold out and fly cannon. He's got a lot of damage with the rock combining together with the 3-man launch. They're going to live through all of this. A quick stampede away to safety. The rate of fight again. Koifa from the hillside. He'll jump in, but the upheaval. They're so slow. The double stun is out. Insania wants to do his work too. Now Tether from Tiger. Where is this damage? Flyby. He finally gets himself in and letting Monet do the work with the slow. Alliance, what have you done? They've walked into no slow. They were meant to be the Immortals, but now the Penitent Koifa, he can BKB and get back to Shrine to fight with Mickey, but both BKBs are down, and RNG, like sharks, smell blood in the water.
Just overconfidence from Alliance. Heads up play from Lanham, though. I feel like I don't see many Warlocks utilize what I think is the second best skill of this Warlock. Upheaval. that they don't have disabled. They need Monet to be able to deal sustained damage, but they don't have that lockdown once the Mars Arena and Puck Coil are expended, unless you get this full channel upheaval on the entire 5-man lineup of Alliance. Boxy survives Pop Stampede, but they're just so confident. They're not using it to regroup on the high ground. They're just standing there looking to continue fighting, but you can't go toe-to-toe with Monet.
Going in again over on the Chen. Flyby pushing back Koifa. With that spear, but the homing missile will connect, and Mickey gets the kill. And now, look towards the pit. Koifa, the Dragon Form's already been expended. Maybe they thought RNG were doing it.
Remember, Koifa didn't have his Dragon Form up in that fight either.
Oh my god! They have no vision on the Radiant side of the river, so they blink aggressively forward. The upheaval is up. Koifa can't walk away. Boxy's moving in. The hoof stomp will arrive, but so will the Dream Call and the Arena of Blood. Pushing Koifa into the wall. He's going to try and tank through all of this. Insania is there to help him out, but they can't move through the arena. Now, the charge forward from Alliance. All they wanted was a fight, and they've got it. Phase shift, and then the quick jump away from Puck. He'll be back out to safety, but Boxy, the hoof stomp in the back.
They reload. They reload away.
They actually left. They left him alone. The Centaur. Oh boy, that's how they became extinct.
Alliance has gotta take some deep breaths here, Toby. Wait, they reload in. That's why they went out.
Yeah.
All right, but it's still.
Tiger had to stay tethered to give Mickey the power to continue the fight, but they had to wait so long to get through the Arena of Blood that they were between the cliffside and the bottom of the arena. They could have just wrapped through the secret shop, but they had to separate as a group.
But you can see there's still so much confidence that Alliance are playing with. RNG recognize they can't just win this fight if they initiate on a DK or a Centaur. They've got to throw out a round of spells, force the response, kite back, look to reinitiate with the big Fatal Bonds Golem. But because Lanham whiffed the Fatal Bonds at the start just trying to initiate on Centaur, you don't have damage anymore. It's just not possible to take out these Alliance heroes without the assistance. And BKB duration is going to become a concern for Alliance as this game drags on. They need them just to be able to avoid those fatals. You have a Mjolnir finished on the Gyro, of course. He'll have a ton of damage outputs in these upcoming fights. Roshan will be the next objective. Everything available on this Radiant team.
I kind of actually like this from Setsu. He's building for, he actually has a level 5 Dagon queued up. Could have gone for the Aghanim Scepter, realizing there's a whole bunch of BKBs in here, but it's like, no, I need to get that burst damage and kill off either the SD or the Io. Get rid of these supports in the back lines.
I think it's the right choice here as well, because Insania, you're going this Aether Lens first on Shadow Demon, as you would usually do, but if the Puck's able to find you in the back line with a Veil, Spell, Dagon combination, you could just go 100-0, and that'll completely remove Alliance's ability to play around these big stun cooldowns of RNG. No longer can you disrupt or kite Sven through his BKB with the Purge. And if you don't have the Purge, there's really no answer to a BKB'd Monet just charging forwards.
Look at RNG as again. So, boys, 5 minutes has passed. Are you ready to go again up on top lane?
Yep.
Smoke up. The runes will spawn in 8 seconds' time. And, hey, Alliance is here. You can bring in Gyro and Io through the relocate. Koifa moves forward, does not BKB. He'll take the Stormbolt hit. Now Monet's already got it in the wall. It's absolutely perfect. They get the kill already onto the SD. Buyback comes quickly. Remember, they've got the extra TP in. They can just go towards the Shrine. The Rock will drop it. 3 heroes combined together. Monet with his BKB, focusing on Tiger. They want this Io gone. They're able to do so. Buyback available for him as well, but Mickey's BKB is all starting to wear off. The Purge from Monet trying to get up the hill. Koifa's already himself a double kill as well, taking out both these supports and then blinking forward. Where's the stun? Flyby tries to push him back out, but they want Monet under the Shrine, and they're going to claim him as well with Disruption. Puck is out, Mars is out, but Alliance didn't go so well for the 20-minute runes, but the 25-minute runes seems a hell of a lot better.
Yep. It was a really great initiation, though, from RNG. They recognize, you can see that they know what's up, right? Immediately kill Insania. Oh, Wisp is relocated. Monet locks on. Beeline straight for him, takes him out with the assistance of the Lanham Golem as well, but the Alliance sustained damage output, their staying power in the fights is still far superior to RNG. Like, they don't run out of gas, and you just can't kill these strength cores without a bunch of spells, and that you don't have them as the Sven BKB fades and the Fatal Bonds disappear. You don't have damage any longer, and you've got to just turn tail and run.
I like this from Alliance too, where they're able to jump into the back lines. Like, you said it perfect. Like, you got a full duration upheaval from Lanham. He was able to just sit there and just hold it, but this time around there was no holding. So the item movement speed you get, I thought Sven was going to just run himself in. He's got SMY, BKB, Echo Saber with phase boots. He can move pretty quickly, but he wants to be able just to nail and use most of that timing to kill off the Io.
Yep.
And that's chasing down past Roshan and giving all the northern side to Koifut, who just grabbed the Chen, grabbed the Warlock and killed them both.
And I really like the way Alliance is itemizing this game as well. You've got a pipe on Centaur, a mech on Taiga, Koifa's going AC, Mickey going Butterfly. All of these items assist you in terms of the AC and the Butterfly. They're high damage for sure, but they provide this innate survivability that becomes very difficult for RNG to deal with, as they're already having major damage issues. Monet's going to need a BKB, but he's got an Assault Cuirass queued up. He's still like a full item or two behind having that ability to go straight for that evasion piercing item, and he still has to deal with the Shadow Demon Purge. Yeah, you killed Insania there, but he's always going to be willing to buy back in these big fights. Roshan, somebody's got to look to make a move for it soon, right? It's 27 minutes in. Nobody even tried to touch the monkey yet.
It feels so dangerous. You want to get into a clustered position. You would normally think that with a Warlock team, you'd want to do that. But at the same time, I don't really feel like we've felt the power from Fatal Bonds. Like, hey, the rock drops, but, oh, I'm going to BKB, or I'm just going to heal through it, or, like, I'll be defensively disrupted in case I'm in a little bit of trouble. Like, Alliance have a lot of ways to deal with RNG's damage and force them to switch targets.
And they're just like this item behind. Alliance is in perfect position in this game. You can see Centaur just got a Sanj. She'll be going Halberd next. It's all about damage reduction, elongating, prolonging these fights. Oh, there's BKB.
Burn is BKB again. That's the 8-second down. And they're pressuring mid, and this is a nicer target. Centaur isolated by RNG. Relocator Rise from Mickey as well as Taiga. How much damage have they got? Koifa tried to turn for the summer flyby. He's got that BKB ready to go still. Now stays 10-second duration, so it's just lasting forever. Missing the spear very far off to the side. The Relocate will just take Gyro back down to the bottom lane with the IO, but this now isolates Insania. He realized that the second he dropped the sentry ward, he was on top of the Radiant Obs. And he will go down. 70 seconds on the sideline. Your question about can you go for Roshan, I think, can now be answered.
It's just every fight that goes RNG's way is usually on the back of a miscue from Alliance. They're getting a little over eager here. They're taking these fights. They're already down boxy, and you're relocating in, you're fighting, but then it's Insania isolated. You could see, like, RNG, they weren't really committing, but Flyby with the BKB was just standing on the cliff. There's not enough physical damage to threaten him, and he buys that time for RNG to realize, oh, this relocate's ticking out. Like, now we can move forwards because the Gyro is going to have to leave. He does finish the Butterfly, but Aegis on Sven now. The first Roche going the way of Royal Never Give Up.
Yeah, they are in a nice position, but let's see what they can do with it. Like, I'm going to pose the same question that was in game number 1. Where does the aggression come from? How do you take objectives? You've still got to push into Alliance through Breathe Fire, through Poison, through Cooldown, through blah, 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 blah. A lot of different things that's going to stop Royal Never Give Up from entering your high ground. So is it just continuously look for the fights and wait for Alliance to make a mistake? Yeah. Is that how you actually craft your game plan?
Well, the thing is, RNG, it's all about the quick fights, right? And as they itemize, as they get stronger and stronger in this game, it becomes easier and easier to burst down Alliance's heroes, especially if Puck gets to a point.
Hang on, 5 minutes has passed. Time for the 30-minute battle as they go in. Insania, these chain stuns right on top of him. He can't get away. No defensive disruption. The BKB's already been burnt from RNG, but the relocate from Mickey as well as Taiga. They're in the back lines. The cooldown, not really that effective. And with the split, it's a great 3-man stun from Boxy, but then the Golem, it'll also drop. Io is down for the count. They're forced to stand and fight here, Alliance, but Monet, he will break the Aegis to the Immortal. Support is on the way back with a triple buybacks from Royal Never Give Up. They don't want to actually let this drop just yet. Mickey's on the run. Boxy, another 2-man stun. How much damage have they got? The Fiddle Bonds connecting up Alliance, but now Tiger's also back with the buyback. They get the kill on Sven. He's down for a minute and a half, but the Hoof Stompers just Koifa jumping forward with the Dragon Cell stun. They have the double edge to kill off Chen, and now going through Flyby. There's just so many diebacks right now for Royal Never Give Up. They have the Aegis. They're meant to have the advantage, and they have nothing.
That's how it's done if you're Alliance. Yeah, sure, Insania goes down, but they had to blow so many spells. The BKBs and the Arena. You can see Monet without BKB is a sitting duck. There's nothing he can do. He does not have the damage output any longer to threaten these Alliance cores, so everybody buys back to try and save him, but even a full upheaval from Lanham once again is not enough to buy time for the big core. And
Alliance push mid. They need to force something. They can go to the tier 2 to tier 3 towers. The Puck, nice fortification from Alliance. They need to keep this creep wave alive. I don't think that all was perfectly on target anyway, but...
No, I think it was actually, they piped the wave, so they didn't need the glyph. But
okay, that's what it was.
They can just, as you said, keep going. You have no fear right now. Mickey's just going to go high ground. Their base damage is insane.
So buyback's available for Sven, but you want to force it. Even if you don't, you just jump in, you just kill Puck.
He's dead forever.
Holy!
He's dead forever.
That
You go throw here?
You go throw?
No.
Safety. You're
Yes.
still one game down, and you need to win this series to go in, but they're going for the tier 4 towers. Alliance making the most of this 90-second window that RNG have now given to them.
The longer this game goes, the higher chance Alliance would make that throw.
They're still
I
worried.
like this decision.
They're holding back as far as they can because they still want the jump initiation in. It's making it difficult for Koi because he's fatally bonded to Mickey. Mickey now letting the flight cannon go, cleans up the creep wave. They are still fatally bonded, so the tier 4 towers are gone.
All right.
But they are going to back up.
No, it's cool because it's so much gold.
It's cool?
so
Okay.
much gold. It is so much gold. You couldn't get the tier 2s in time. Bottom wave's all the way at your own tier 2. You had Insania top already. So just get what you can, kill the shrine, maybe even kill the top tier 2 because you know that the puck has no buyback. Regroup, spend all of your money, and then walk forwards with your 3 cores in front and attack the RNG base.
Well, they'll give it a shot. Tier 2 tower is lost on top. They're beating into the shrine.
Yep.
Aghanim Scepter did arrive for Warlock, but now we're also seeing items arriving for Alliance. Satanic is ready for the
they're just
gyrocopter.
gonna go.
Basically is inbuilt. Oh, Flyby, I'm liking his spot on the side, but they want to jump Monet. War cries, he feels them coming.
Dude, Mickey
Flyby
is-
still waiting for the perfect jump. He needs to hit the perfect arena of blood, but it's 2 heroes who's just going to BKB and turn and fight on him instead. The flat cannon a little bit earlier popped off, but they've taken the top lane of Frax still 10 seconds before Puck's alive, and there is no initiation. They just let it happen.
Nothing you can do there, Tobes.
Yeah, no opening. Yes, like as you said before, like, hey, maybe I just don't take it because it's not a good opportunity. But
And you can also see the thing about Puck and why we don't see it as much as we do all these strength cores is that you have to consistently outplay your opponents to stay alive, right? You need to phase shift, position perfectly, because you catch the one stun, yeah, you're just dead. Heroes like DK, heroes like Centaur, you don't have these problems. You get initiated on, and it's almost good for your lineup because you're just not going to die in that initial barrage of spells.
5-man smoke. They were outside of any vision of Alliance because that's kind of all on the north, but they're going to walk straight in between Alliance onto Insania. Start on the SD. Man, he actually got a little bit of extra life, but still down. Alliance,
Yeah, just
this
get out
isn't
there.
fighting in the way that they want to fight. In fact, Monet finds Koifa. Blink Dagger's on cooldown for 3 more seconds. Koifa now getting hit. They're moving over. Alliance looking to try and fight because they're going to double damage route on the gyrocopter. They need to bring his damage in as Centaur. He wants to help Koi for BKB. The rock will drop line too. Probably won't get himself out that one. In fact, Botti, yeah, double kill, finds him in the trees, and these never-ending glimmer claims. They just can't see their target. They just can't kill it. Koi blinks forward. This may just be the game right here. Monet is dead. They can go down mid, or they could just get the GG call out. Alliance take game 2 and force a third, keeping their hopes alive for TI9 DPC points to get that spot away from eHome.